Deep, deep beneath the earth, there's a place where darkness stretches into realms yet undiscovered. Reality shifts and its edges blur, creating new spaces and realms. One of these realms is known as the Below, the Night World, or simply the Underdark, for the sun never reaches this pitch-black place. Beneath the sky, which consists of a rocky ceiling that puts even the biggest caves to shame, there are waves of viscous, dark water lapping at the shore of few and small islands. These islands are the only dots of inhabitable land within the large ocean, the Black Sea. The biggest one of these islands might have been earth and rock once, but now it consists of metal and concrete, a city bigger than even the great capitals of the lands above. Illuminated only by the white, harsh light of magical lamps, the City of Shadows is home to many folk. Our three protagonists should be wary though, as a single false step in the City of Shadows can plunge you into the dark forever, just as well as one right move can rise you above the rest. A delicate net of intrigue, desire and death weaves all across the city, connecting criminals, civilians and nobles alike. Everyone has to find their place in it. Everyone needs to learn to navigate this treacherous maze. Can you do it? Or will we die alone and forgotten?
Evening, little dove. The name's Sahir Marlowe, and I'll be ferrying your ass and all your shit across the Black Sea this evening. Mind your fingers and toes, keep 'em in the boat, and for Raptor's sake, don't go leaning over the water. See, the waves hide terrible secrets from those that travel the surface. Not much unlike Sahani, the City of Shadows, yeah? You see, little dove, there's all sorts of things to discover in the city, if you know where and how to find them. Me? I'm just a gondolier, nothing special. Yeah, that's what I tell everyone, even if they don't believe me. See, I specialize in being ordinary. Been that way for a long time. I grew up in a group home, the old Soft Touch orphanage in the Silk Scarf district. Growing up was tough, yeah. Working in the textile mills, avoiding the gang wars in the streets, hard lessons from the instructors in the home. There wasn't any time to lament our situation, though. Well, not for most of the kids. I might have been upset, but I earned my way out. See, some wealthy madam stopped by the house one afternoon, claiming to be related to me or something. I eyed her suspiciously, went along with it, though. If it meant getting out of the home, I was game. I followed her around for a few days, and one evening, while she was sleeping, I took off with whatever valuables I could carry in my pockets and snuck off. These days, I don't really take valuables off folks, but information. Speaking of which, what's in the cargo, eh? Don't look so worried. I'm harmless. No secret ever passes these lips. Unless the price is right.
I've seen you before, I think, lingering on your way past the shop. I'm glad you've come in. The arrangements out front are pale shades of what you find in here. And nothing beats one of our custom creations. A bouquet of my own. You flatter me, but I'll not turn it down. There's a language in flowers, you know. I've made enough lovers' tokens and funeral wreaths to tell you that even without knowing why, people quite often like to tell a story with their choices. A daisy here for innocence, a sprig of gladiolus there for remembrance. It won't be one of those ostentatious ones you see delivered up to the parties and cafes in Cleargarden. So, let's say a bit of hollyhock and lavender for height, some sweet peas, and perhaps some butterfly weed near the hands. There's color, but you wouldn't think it much to look at, no? But see here, wrapped in the ribbon, a message for those skilled enough to read it. Yes, metaphorically and literally, For you see, that is where you'll find a note for your master. I know who you serve, and have been expecting you for some time. Here, have a bit of forget-me-not before you go. A bright spot of blue against the dark of the city to keep you on your way.
Hush, little one, for you are safe here in my garden. Who are you, you must be wondering? Well, I am Bronard Denul of the great house Sif, but please do call me Broden. To answer the unasked question, no, I cannot see you. Not directly. However, that is because the natural magics of the world are still at work within me. I've always possessed a certain amount of magic, as demonstrated by the dragon mark of healing that wraps around my horns. A mighty gift bestowed to the members of my house, a gift I was nearly denied when my father was executed for planned crimes against the Night Queen. After that event, I withdrew from the affairs of the house and dedicated myself to this garden. I chose a life of isolation, only leaving to acquire new plants to grow here. But I did not remain isolated. One day I was approached while placing an order for a new flower bush, a group interested in the potential use of gardening to reshape the City of Shadow so that no one would ever go hungry again. I was fooled for a time until my now friend Sahir stopped me and showed me what their true ambition was. I abandoned that group, but they had planted the seeds of an idea. Perhaps I can reshape the City of Shadow through my gardens after all.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the last session of City of Shadows Ascension. I'm Sahir, I will be your GM today, and with me I have the owner of this channel who's named...
Hi, I'm Eva. I didn't realize I was unmuted, so that's very convenient. And I will be playing Mercy, or M, your tiefling soulless sorcerer. And I am joined by Raven.
Fine. Hello, I'm Raven. I'm playing Bronar Denul, also known as Broden, who is a very, very intense druid.
I'm Wren, and I'm the third player. I will be playing the role of Sahir Marlowe, a not at all shifty or possibly undead monstrosity. And the lovely GM today is Swapper, but Swapper introduced us, so I don't know. I guess I'm done.
Thank you. I do need 2 introductions. Solely for the size of my ego, actually. And I don't know if I would call you a monstrosity. Some people would. Anyway, last time many things happened. Does somebody want to give us a recap?
Fine.
Ooh.
Last time on City of Shadows, Broden, I'm not doing this in character, just because I was not prepared for all this. It's fine. Broden met with some sparrows, a local gang, to recruit for their druidic purposes. That's fine. Nothing sketchy there. Sahir has been had escaped from the mirror that they were trapped in. I'd say briefly. Was that your 24-hour stint in the mirror? Yep. And bought a bunch of locks for their room. That's also probably fine and super not sketchy in the least. Did all this really just happen last time? We did a lot, y'all. I, Mercy, did a lot of reading just kind of chilled out for a while. Did some academic work. Wrote to their parents so y'all can get off her back. And, we sort of discovered a whole bunch of people that we used to know who are now no longer with us. Umar, the flower shop folk, the problem with Umar being missing is that Sahir had to sort of appropriate a coffin for purposes such as burying their body in the backyard. There's now sort of, I don't want to say two Sahirs, but the body formerly known as Sahir is in the backyard, which is going to make the resale value very not great. They also fed for the first time. I believe it's the first time, after a visit with Lady Cornwallis. Broden had a very charming talk with their mother, who's a bit insufferable, if I can be so bold. That could be fine, but she gives her blessing, more or less, for them to work on some new projects. And one of those projects being a high-rise apartment building, more or less, that is built more or less to code, if there were codes in Sahani, which I genuinely don't believe there are. Yes. Let's see. M and Sahir studiously ignore any goings-on at the house. And I think that's growth for someone. I don't know which one. Maybe both. And I think the huts. That's with one T. I feel like that's important after our earlier conversations. The region of the huts is sort of... Are we saying gentrified at this point? Was it just maybe like torn down
maybe
to make a new...
garden-fied would be more accurate.
Garden-fied?
Anyone living there, it's all just garden.
Yeah,
That's
green garden,
cool.
I believe, is the...
Yep.
Yeah, other than that, M left things off meeting with Mason and Mason, and a bunch of very nice, legal-minded business folk. So that's probably going well. Also, thanks, Anik, for your best wishes.
Well, let's see if that shall be enough. As you can first of all take your D6 of inspiration. You're probably going to need it. And second of all, there just has been a request made to M, which is basically Mason and Mason want to, in that new system that you're building, provide both jurisdiction and legislation. What are you doing? As currently, as a reminder, you're sitting on a rather large table, at a rather large table. And all around you are these white-suited people with various animal masks, all named accordingly. You have Mr. Fox, Rat, Mrs. Lion, Owl, and a Mr. Spider. And it was Mrs. Lion who had spoken last and declared the intentions. After that, you can feel multiple pairs of eyes, 6 in total. 5 in total, I can't count. Stare at you.
With Mr. Spider, wouldn't there be more?
Suppose there would, yes.
Just checking. Who would take over your current interests? Or are you just diversifying?
Give me an insight check, please.
I know what die that is. Can't trick me. 11.
11. Within 11, there's some kind of communication going on, but you can't really read which one, especially because of the masks. But after a short pause, Mr. Fox rises up from the chair and Mrs. Lyons sits down. That would be me. I shall be made the new head of Mason & Mason if all is going well.
What, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We would also consider going a more official, becoming a more official business.
And what is your view for the government structure, if you will, when this all shakes out?
Mr. Fox sits down and Mr. Spider stands up. The governmental structure is none of our concern. There will always be need for legislation and there will always be need for judges, simply because of the sheer number of cases. As long as those two things are provided and headed by us, we cannot. Sits back down again.
Does that sound genuine?
Give me an insight check.
$12.
You have no idea. Normally I just say, ooh, it's hard to read. It could be there, but no, with the mask and everything.
Yeah, that's...
Also presume the mental state Emma's in right now, which I assume is not too analytic.
Look, she's having a rough day.
She is.
You know what? That sounds fair to me. I'll say, if I could see a contract on that.
Mr. Ath stands up and begins to sign something. And in the exact same moment, Mr. Fox will not stand up, but speak up. Mr. Ath here has already prepared the contract for you. You're free to go over it and also inquire other services if you need them. However, you will find that everything is airtight and there will be no hidden loopholes.
Given my previous dealings with them and everything I know, I mean, that sounds straightforward, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're generally
normally,
like letter of the text.
Yeah, normally they would not give this kind of assurance because they have this
Code.
I wouldn't call it a code, but they have this what's it called, rumor, not rumor, just the people know about them that they stick to what they say, and it's their entire thing to basically not lie. It's the devil thing of not lying but tricking you otherwise, and normally you just wouldn't get this kind of assurance. It is not written down, which means it's not as binding, but it's still a big deal.
I'll take it.
Also, yes, Derek, I too love Magnus Archives. Thank you.
I would like to sleep on it, as it were, like take the contract and schedule a time to return to make it official. Because I'd like to be able to, like, read it without an unknown amount of eyes staring at me.
Mr. Rat begins to sign once again. Mr. Fox translates. We also foresaw this, and that is amenable with us. We will then gather you at the exact same point again in 24 hours.
That is quite agreeable to me.
Wonderful. Mr. Rat sits back down again, and Mrs. Owl stands up. Is that all then?
I believe our business for today is concluded. Thank you all for your time.
Perfect. I will then declare this meeting as ended. They all stand up, and most of them begin to file out of multiple doors. Mr. Fox is the only one who stays. Well, that went over far more smoothly than I imagined. My congratulations. I shall accompany you back to the current.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
You're welcome.
She is realizing for the first time, I think, during that entire conversation, that there is just, like, sweat trickling down her neck. And, like, the stress.
That thing when you just had like an important conversation and you get through it fine, and then you, oh my god, that was so stressful.
Yeah, yep.
The carriage ride is, unless you want to say anything, awkwardly quiet. Mr. Fox is fidgeting, but not saying anything.
What's, if I may ask, what's your new role in all of this?
Give me a persuasion check, please.
Ooh. 23.
Well, let's just say I get an opportunity that I would not have had before. Mason is quite hierarchical. It's strict. It has rules. And you're only really free when you get to dictate those rules. And it's always good when your bosses leave and you in charge.
What do you want to see the city become?
Well, that's a very grand question. I would like to see a city where legal services are actually required and not a joke. Where the most common contract is not one between two rival gangs. So I suppose a prospering city.
Well, cheers to that.
Indeed.
When I read it later, is his role in the contract?
No. The contract is specifically very open as to like who's doing what, just the general organization.
Presumably that would be between them and not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, here you have the thing. This is how we suppose we will structure the, I don't want to say government, but the new legislation and justification. Sure. But what exactly becomes of the group that is not technically Mason and Mason anymore? No
Sure.
idea.
Sure. Okay.
Can I have an intelligence check as you go over the contract later?
I'm going to use my d6, please.
Fair enough.
Okay. 19.
19. It's actually quite well thought out. As far as you can see, there are no hidden caveats in there, but then again, these people are known as literally the best lawyers, period, mostly. And you do not have a law degree, so there might be something in there. However, something that even you can see is that there will be a split, basically, between the group into both judges and legislation, and the two of them are kept in check by each other. It's actually quite well designed to stop them from using their power to kind of just propel each other forward. And there is, for example, an arbiter chosen by the two of them who can basically veto things by the both of them.
I like it.
It's mostly just proposals, and it is still a business contract. So it's like, here you have this option which you can choose, or this option. If you choose this option, please beware that, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. I imagine it takes me the
Not the worst system. Yeah.
full evening. Cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. At least the full evening. Well then, as Mercy reads the contract, is there anything the other two would do in those 12 hours, or are your goals kind of more long-term? I think that's on your mind right now.
Definitely a long term at the moment.
So, Broden, you're just scheming as usual, doing the things we will discuss a bit later. So, yeah, anything from you?
Two things come to mind.
Ooh.
Two things not related to M come to mind. First off, I need to get in touch with some of my contacts in the ranks of the gondoliers. I've got Grant, the Dragonborn.
Yep.
I had talked to, who get along decently well with. And I've got against my better judgment, I would also like to speak with what's their name?
Your tabaxi friend?
My tabaxi friend, yes. I've got it. I got it.
Thank you, because I've got that in my folder, and I just don't want to do this.
Me? Amos? Ami?
Amos? Yes, it would be Amos. Sorry, Amis.
Amis. There we go. And
all right.
I don't have a whole lot I want to talk to them about other than just relay a message, so I'm gonna have to just try.
Let's not get too hasty, shall we?
Let's not get too
hasty. Roll me 2d100, as that is the first time we see those contacts.
Oh no!
Since the invasion. Now, both of these have a plus 30 for reasons that I shall not explain right now, but they seem to have been in a very fortuitous position, even on the water.
So my first dice roll was a 64.
64, all right. In total?
Before adding, so 94.
Okay, so 94.
And
so that's for Grant. Taken for no.
Just taken for granted. And then the one for Amis would be a 55.
55. All right, so both are alive and well.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
I think the meeting with Grant, we know Grant already. Grant is this kind of chill Dragonborn gondolier. I believe it's like a pipe, and it's basically a nice, slightly shady taxi driver, basically. You know him. You're not best buddies, but you're fine. Business contacts, I suppose. So that's going over fine. What exactly do you want from him?
Well, I just want to start planting some seeds.
Ooh, how unusual for this campaign.
Basically, I'm looking for grants so that I can say, hey, everyone you know, every gondolier you see, I think it's about time we start organizing a little professional meet and greet for everyone that's part of the trade.
Ooh. Interesting. All right, yeah.
And I would like to.
Thing you can do, yeah.
I'd just like to propose a day where, in like maybe a week, to give time for word to spread, to try and arrange for all the gondoliers in Sahani to dock their boats and meet at the central hub, so that we can all have a little get together.
For you, Sahir, this would be slightly surprising. You kind of guess that something would be in place for this, just judging on the usual demeanor of the other gondoliers. But you're not a usual gondolier. You didn't come into this job via a recommendation or via the House of Leonid. You kind of just took it up and then somebody signed you off. So you're not connected with the usual traditions and culture of the gondoliers. You're getting there, but you're still not fully in there. So I imagine there would be some surprise, because this is a thing you can do. Every gondolier can, should the need arise, call in a meeting. And within 12 hours, not even a day, that meeting could be arranged. You can still give a day, but that is not a problem. And kind of for us as, mostly the audience, we would kind of see Grant going to 2 people, first 2 people, then splitting, going to other 2 people, so 4, 8, 16, and the whispers kind of start spreading through all the canals of Sahani. Well, I say all of them, most of them. There are some gaps in the net, but anyway, they'll be filled in time. And so here you are doing a very good job of filling those right now. Anything else?
Second item of business for me is I want to find someone who can establish a magical ward.
What kind?
One that obscures and hides things.
Would you like to find anyone specific or somebody new?
I don't think I really know anyone. So yeah, I don't think I really know anyone. And I suppose I could Broden's into this magical stuff. Ugh. No, I don't. The fewer people know, the better. I'm gonna look for someone myself.
Ooh, all right. Give me a persuasion check if you're looking for them via the usual conversation route.
I'm sorry, Broden, but the fewer people know about my body, the better.
I'm sorry, Broden.
That was what check? I'm sorry.
Persuasion.
Oh, good. 25.
Okay. You find somebody. The recent total collapse of the economy did help, not gonna lie there, because it's kind of thinned out the competition, and mostly the buyers. So you would be able to find a very flighty individual. When I say flighty, I don't mean nervous or kind of looking like they're about to bolt. I mean flighty in the sense that when you look at them, they kind of seem to fade a bit, and it's just very difficult for them to remain here. Not in a magical way, but just in a very mundane way. So it's the kind of people that make up a crowd, the kind of people where if you stand in a room with them, your eyes kind of just wander over them because they are so very boring. You find this fellow, a certain Rick Meldor, in one of the newly reopened bars. And when I say find, it's actually quite a close call because you kind of need to talk to people, and then people go, "It's that one over there," despite you having already been described by his appearance. So you kind of meander over, I suppose. Sorry, huddle. Forgot, it's all about the huddling. Rick is, as I said, kind of blending in the background. He's not having anything to drink. Seems to be playing with a small coin, which is, whether by use of magic or just some inherent ability of this item kind of hovering above his palm, he kind of seems to be tossing and turning it telekinetically. As you approach, he kind of looks up and you can see the kind of mouse brown eyes, this short brown hair, and you kind of, your eyes just glaze over because he's so incredibly mundane looking. He looks like his name is Steve and he's from accounting. Hello. Can I help you? Even his voice is just into one ear and out of the other.
You Rick?
Yeah, that's me.
Well, good, Rick. Just the person I've been looking for. I think the appropriate question, Rick, isn't whether you can help me, but more, how can I help you?
I mean, if you got money, that's always good. If you got like a steady job, that would be amazing. My last one kind of got destroyed by zombies. It was very traumatic, I suppose.
While he's talking, I kind of lean one elbow on the bar top, and I keep looking past him, and as he's talking, I just kind of go, right.
This guy might be a bioweapon because whenever he speaks, you kind of feel the ardent desire to really go to sleep right now.
What did you used to do? Excuse me.
Like a magical artist, I suppose. In your mind, there's just a blank as to whatever this guy might be arting, because there's no way it is something interesting.
Well, it's funny you say magic. I was told that you might be someone who can produce, wards or fails or zones of non-detection, the usual magical.
Stuff,
yeah, great, cool. Look,
kind of an expert, actually.
I bet I got money, I got connections, and actually maybe looking at opening up a new line of business.
Sounds good.
You're someone.
Do you have time? Because I work slower than most magic people, but I'm also better.
It's like every time he talks, I just
yeah.
I'm looking away or just never making eye contact.
See, the guy next to him is already slumped on the bar counter.
Look, I got nothing but time. Like you don't know. I've got nothing but time. So
Yeah, right, I don't know.
yeah. Okay, look. I write down an address. It'll be like near my estate. Can you meet me here later?
Surface for this. Yeah, I'm gonna need a few tools and hard surface. I can do that.
A few tools and a hard surface. Does earth count?
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay, good. Okay. So can you meet me there at this address later today? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. When the street lights come on?
So always. Yeah, I can do that. That's a very specific time, yeah.
Great.
It's an old city joke, you know, like, because the lights are always on, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like 18 o'clock we say the street lights go on. It's really funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You'll find him full of jokes.
Yeah. You're hilarious.
Yep. I see a very unique opportunity presented in you.
Thanks, you're literally the first person who's ever said that to me.
I'm sure. Just meet me here later. And we can talk details about payment and possible work.
Yeah.
I might be patient, but I would not be late.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna stay here so that when you come back we can meet. No, wait, I need to go through the address.
Yes.
I'm gonna make it somehow.
You better. Like I said, I might be patient, but don't be late.
Yeah.
If well, I'll see you later.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll drop he's not drinking anything.
Yeah.
I'll drop a coin on the table, and I'll just look at him, and I'll say, "Get yourself something nice." Or are you having trouble flagging down the bartender?
No. He is.
I'll motion to the bartender. Hey. Get my pal something good.
Oh my god! I wasn't aware, I was sitting somewhere there. Oh, on it right now.
I'll nod and I'll
confused. Yeah.
saunter out.
Confused, you leave the establishment. It's weird how many, well, weird people the city produces. But hey, weird people are useful. So, in the end. So, are you meeting your wonderful tabaxi friend?
Well, I was basically just going to ask him to do the same thing I asked Grant to do, so.
Oh. Yeah, fine.
I wasn't going to ask him for anything more than that.
I mean, it's probably better that way. It's better that way.
Yeah, we don't get along so well.
So,
yeah.
So here we will actually stay with you, as M is currently deeply invested in legal matters and probably also as bored. Well, not as bored, but approaching the amount of boredom that you had when you were talking to this person. It is no problem to meet him later. He is quite late, 10 or 15 minutes, though that might be a German thing. 10 or 15 minutes is quite late for me. But in the end, he shows, so that's more than you probably expected, to be quite honest. And he seems very capable, but watching him work is tedious. What he's doing is he's kind of carving sickles into the earth of your estate. Well, I should say pay first. The pay is ludicrously neglectable. It's like a few silver pieces for those services. You get the feeling this is somebody who is very skilled, but so nichely so that he has found no employers.
Huh.
So cheap and qualitatively high. You'll obtain. He begins to kind of carve sigils into the earth with meticulous and languid precision. And he says it's going to take him a few days to do this.
Okay. Watching him work. Say now, can you do this on anything that's got a permanent hard surface?
Not just permanent. Anything that's there for a few days, I can do it. Wards are not the only thing I do. Well, wards are the only thing I do, but like non-detection wards aren't the only thing I do. You can also do like protection. I can keep people out. I'm what people call a pattern weaver. That's like magic, but takes really long.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're done.
Asking?
And you're doing the keep people out deal here, and I'm like motioning to the.
Yeah, I'm doing like the package deal. They won't be able to really pay attention to the garden. It's kind of just glossing over it, and if they do, they're gonna have difficulty breaking through it, like mentally and physically. And I also put like a non. Like some people can like see things that are not near them, and I'm also preventing that.
Say, how much would you charge to carve these sigils into a fleet of, I don't know, boats?
Like a few gold pieces, maybe. It's gonna take some time.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Also, moving things are really difficult, so it might not work. But I can try.
That's worth a try. We can talk about that later. Can I get you anything like tea or a snack? I'm sure you probably like something. Lemon?
Really,
do you want a lemon?
No, do you have like one of these weird porcelain angels? The really ugly ones that your mum has in the house?
That's oddly specific.
Yeah, I collect them.
Really? Okay. Well.
Yeah.
I can fish through Grandma's attic and see if she has any.
Oh, that's good. Can I help you with that?
No.
On a break. Oh, fair enough.
But you can sit in the parlor. My associate's in there, or you can.
Well, they probably won't even notice me.
Probably not. It's okay.
It's okay.
There's a fireplace.
You're just surprised like how many weird things I hear just sitting somewhere.
Yeah, I bet. That's another thing I want to talk about with you. Unique opportunity. Look, I'm gonna go look for that weird porcelain angel baby, and
the ugly one, like the ones with like the baby cheeks, like the tiny wings.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look. You can follow me in and take a seat somewhere. Don't go poking around. I'll know. And
we won't, but yeah.
If I can't find any in the house, I will keep my eyes out in the city for them.
But that's really nice of you.
Yeah, but you could consider it like thanks for being so professional.
Yeah, I'm really professional. People tell me that all the time.
I bet they do. Okay. I'm just gonna like turn around abruptly and start walking into the house.
Takes serious mental effort to not immediately forget he's there. But you managed.
Oh God.
Once again, you're not sure if this is a magical thing or if it's just really boring.
I walk through the foyer and I call out, M, are you here? Just screaming into the
M
building.
paints the picture. What's M look like? Deeply invested in legal paperwork.
I think she's got a stack of her books. And probably, like, if anywhere in the house there was some sort of, like, legal dictionary. Or legalese for the layman or something like that. She'd probably have added that to her pile. But mostly it's just, like, she's sitting in her chair.
I have a thing for you, which is nothing in the house, or something like that. You do know your home library has a lot of these things. Do you quickly dip in there?
I mean, this is important. I would.
This is important, but you could also buy them from the various open books. Well,
I do know one open bookstore.
He loves just non-fiction. He's a big fan of it. I heard.
You heard a rumor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Little birdie told me.
I feel like Weave is also closer than going back home.
Mm-hmm.
So it's stopping there first.
Yeah. He doesn't hate you, but every time you stop by, you're asking for non-fiction books, and he's just increasingly more frustrated.
Yeah.
He has a few.
Mm-hmm.
They're not very good. They're like, laws for dummies. 10 laws you absolutely should know.
You'll never believe what the 5th one is.
Yeah, it's like the book equivalent of clickbait. I'd like to first thank the sponsors.
I know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And I know this isn't it.
Yes, you're looking for literally the complete compendium of laws in Sahani and the way they would be affected by this new change. No big deal.
Just something to like help me parse through their phraseology.
Yes, a glossary. Very good, very good.
Yeah.
He does have one of those.
It does or does not?
He does.
Oh, good. Okay.
It may or may not be complete.
Okay, well, I will take it, and then also, like, if he's got an all-suffering look, I will also, I guess, ask after, like, isn't it poetry? Isn't that his big...
Yes, poetry of, specifically the era of nocturnal poetry.
Yeah.
Now, this is important. Will you engage in conversation?
No.
That is a pity.
I'm in a bit of a hurry. But I was thinking, if you make me a recommendation, I'll take it. We could do a bit of a book club next time I'm in.
Ooh, yes. It takes a while. You just asked somebody to basically condense an entire era into a single recommendation. Mm-hmm. And as a fellow bookworm myself, that just hurts me on like a deep level.
Oh, I know.
But in the end, there is a compromise. It's a compilation, a collection, so to speak. It is quite big. Yeah, the next time you're here, you definitely need to talk about this.
Yeah.
That's the kind of vibe you're getting. Like, there's no way you'll leave this shop another time. Well, that sounded very threatening.
It did sound exceptionally threatening.
It was supposed to, yes, it was supposed to. He feels a lot of things about this.
All right.
I'm not projecting. Shut up.
I will take both books then.
Indeed. One of them exceptionally useful, the other one probably untouched. Simply because you have, a city to reform. No big deal.
I will leave it with my stack of other books, though. Like, I'm not going to just shove it off to a corner somewhere. Like, if I do
yes,
have
of
to
course.
go back in there, I will at least start it.
I will be prepared.
After we've dealt with this whole city thing.
Next time you enter, there's just smoke billowing out. You have chosen to enter. Only you enter.
Oh, goodness.
Oopsie daisy, we lost Raven, and Raven's back again. I'm just going to go on, but I'm going to switch from Eva, who probably has things to do now, to Sahir. Sahir. It is indeed the time of the meeting. And we can kind of see the oar dipping into water again and again as you approach the central dock. Yeah, dock is the right word, I suppose. Sahani always feels like it has a lot of gondoliers. And in a way it does. But seeing them here only serves to highlight how many of them are missing. There are about 4 or 5 dozen of them, which sounds like a lot, and is a lot, but the city should have more, far, far more. There's a weird atmosphere. It's both anticipatory and ambitious, perhaps. Opportunity, people slowly whispering to each other, people quietly whispering to each other. Nobody really knows what this is about, but whenever a meeting comes about, it's usually important. But as you step up on the docks, the first one that spots you is Grant, actually. And from there on out, there is a ripple effect, and whether you want it to or not, you slowly become the center of circles of stares as people slowly fall quiet, hushed as they stare at you. Waiting.
Is there a nice central spot where I can stand elevated? Maybe like
there's,
boxes or something.
There's like a small staircase onto one of the upper bridges where you could potentially just use it as like a stage.
Oh, I'll jump up there.
All right.
And I'll just scan the crowd awkwardly for a few moments,
These are
taking in all the faces.
all of them.
All of them.
Yeah. They're looking up at you, and you can see varying emotions, hope, some grieving, some impassive, not a lot of happiness, or just there's no cheeriness in the air. These are not important people, these aren't powerful people, these aren't even rich people.
And I just kind of stand on the stairs for a moment, and as I'm kind of taking in the atmosphere and the mood, I will grip the railing and say, howdy, folks.
There's a few singular, hey, what's up?
I'm real happy to see all of you here today, and on such short notice.
There's a ripple of laughter going through the crowd. Like you just made an inside joke.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sahir. I've been gondolier for just a little bit. I've seen a whole lot of stuff, and I've met a whole bunch of you. I haven't had the pleasure to see or meet every last one of you, but, well, I suppose you could say we all belong to the same brotherhood, for lack of a better term.
There's a few nods.
And recently, and I'll kind of walk up the stairs a little bit as I start this part. I'll go up a little bit and turn around and project a little more. Recently, the city fell under attack from a real bizarre sort of assailant, and I look around. Looking around here, looks like we lost a lot of good folks, didn't we?
There's no visible reaction, but there's a visible lack of reaction.
Yeah. We lost a lot of really great folks. And I gotta ask you all. The whole city lost a lot of people, but let me pose this thought to you. Do any of those people see a loss of our kind as more than an inconvenience to them at this point? A lack of reliable transportation around the city. Is that all we are?
It takes a long time, or rather longer than you thought, for those words to sink in. People begin to whisper with each other. So you can see like the beginnings of a storm, the first voices getting louder, some people openly disagreeing, most of them, however, being very in favor of what you just said. And you kind of felt like you lost control a little bit, like you just poked a nest of wasps without actually knowing what's going on. The crowd begins to get louder and louder, kind of openly, not calling for revolution or anything, but kind of just shouting all the misdeeds they've needed to suffer over the last few years.
I'll lift up my hands and kind of try and calm them down.
Give me a persuasion check, please.
Ooh. 23.
23.
I just
slowly but surely,
my friends,
calm them down.
My friends, please. I did not call you all here to rile you up in such a manner. I called this meeting because I thought that it might be time for new management and a new order to people in our profession. Who's in charge now?
As you say that, people kind of begin to wonder. Who is actually in charge? Because the gondoliers have kind of mostly run themselves. Yes, there's an upper management somewhere, but most don't know. You kind of expect no answer to this rhetorical question, which is why you might be put off guard a bit as a voice to your left up the stairs answers, "That would be me." And you look to your left and you can see this tall, I don't want to say muscular, definitely well-built Goliath, clad in surprisingly practical clothes. Yes, they're definitely upper class, but not showy. Walk down the stairs. Can I have a persuasion check, please? Just to recall if you ever had a conversation or kind of inquired who this person is. You have advantage on this.
What check?
Persuasion.
Persuasion. Man, you're making this too easy for me. I'll roll my advantage. That's a good thing I did. That's a 22.
22. This would be Zelia Leonid, the master of the canals.
Ah,
The crowd
yes.
falls silent.
Sahir. And forgive me, I completely forgot you were in charge, considering how little you do for us.
I would be wounded if that were true, but it isn't. Have I not taken in many of you when the undead attacked the city? Have I not provided shelter and security for all I could?
And how many is that?
The majority.
And I'll turn to the crowd. Is it the majority? How many of you owe something to this savior who appears only when us little boatists might be going in a different direction?
Give me a persuasion check, please. This one is contested. Ooh.
24.
First, like, if you begin to raise their hands, but then their friends actually turn to them and go like, "Fuck, there's just a person who like they have like a hole, and that's it. They give us the scraps," and they kind of begin to kind of lower their arms, visibly confused, and so they kind of walks down another step towards you and kind of looks over the crowd and purses his lips. Just be that as it may, where were you doing all of that? Did you appear as a savior to the masses?
I was busy helping stop the flow of this disease throughout the city without an expectation of accolades. Something apparently you don't understand from your position of leadership. And I'll step up one of the stairs towards them.
Beneath you can actually hear some of the people whispering like, "Yeah, that's true. I heard that. He was, like, they were involved in stopping the thing. Not really." So there steps down another one. You're kind of 5 staircases and 5 stairs apart from each other. Well, congratulations to you. Still, what is the purpose of this? Do you want to rile up that many people? The revolution has already happened.
Maybe up top it has. It's just getting started here. Is Sohail looking into my eyes?
Yep.
Okay. I would like to eat all of their memories.
Oof. Oh my. All of them?
Every last ounce of them.
Could you please tell me what I need to do?
Oh, I gotta pull that back up.
Yeah, me too, and I think you're quicker than me.
Let me go to my notes, because I'm pretty sure I threw it in here.
Actually, don't bother. I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it!
I'm doing it!
Yes! Alright. You must make a charisma saving throw. Interesting. This is not a magical effect. It is, but not in the traditional sense. So this is just a straight roll. I'm going to roll that and roll 20, actually.
Oh, so I can see it.
Yes.
Well, a 5 is definitely not going to beat
No.
a 14.
Give me a description. How
So
do
basically,
you bring down the master of the canals?
Basically, as we're having this stare down, and I'm imagining this this person is, God, like 3 feet taller than me at least. How tall are they?
Oh God. Feet in meters. I believe 3 feet would, yeah. 3 feet is like, yeah. That would do it. They would be about 6, 7. So that's 3 meters. About 8 to 9 feet tall. Hello, I'm European. I don't know your weird systems.
Yeah, so 8 to 9 feet tall. Yeah, they're about 3 or 4 feet taller than me. So even though, like, and it's like extremely apparent on the stairs because they're even higher up than I am, looking down at me. And as I step up and our eyes are locked, I just call out to the gondoliers. I say, "This master of the canals has been keeping us scurrying around like rats while they live like a fat, rich cat in opulence." And my eyes go to that smoky, they kind of start to shift to that smoky, kind of glassy, mirror-like surface that I've seen when I've been looking into the mirror realm. And I take another step up and I just shout out, "It's time for us to unite as one. Who controls travel in this city? Who controls information? What do we all hear and know that others are afraid of anyone else finding out? My friends, it's time for new leadership." And with that,
we're doing this is
as we're kind of like locking eyes, I would kind of draw them in to my own eyes. And I just whisper to them, "You've forgotten what it means to be a leader. You've forgotten what it means to work hard for your position. In fact, I'd say you've forgotten everything." And in a flash, it's like they see their whole memory scrolling up in front of their own inner eye as I just slurp it up into my own brain.
not just they see that, but you see it as well. In flashes, you can see this creature's life. And oh, who is the fat cat now? As you drink and drink and drink all that this person knows, and they know a lot. You witness the birth of a creature with pale grey skin, alone in an alleyway, born from deception and lies and greed. You witness the first time that skin warps and the features shoot up into the height of an elf, possibly a tiefling, an orokoka. So many different forms, so many different lives. You can see the way they kind of stumble through their lives. They acquire information, but it's never enough because they can't do anything with it. And then a lucky incident, disguised as a gondolier, one who now slumbers deep, deep beneath the black ocean. A prominent guest, the master of the canals, Sahir Leonid, alone on the boat. and how easy it is to take the shape, and how easy it is to eat all that is of them, and in their last moments pose for so long as the master of the canals themselves, until they in return are eaten by another one of their very own kind. The body slumps forward, and as it slams into the stairs, you can hear the breaking of glass, and shards of mirrors scatter. And there is no body, and nobody. The crowd gasps, and there is silence. 1 second, 2 seconds, 5th.
On the
then-
3rd second, I'll turn
Oh,
around
yes.
slowly and face them again.
And on the 5th, people begin clapping. There's thunderous applause for a new era, for the gondoliers.
I'll hush them again and I'll just say, leadership in the form of a committee. Leadership as equals. Leadership and value in information. I propose we form a new network. And I'll outline basically a plan to work as gondoliers, but ply in information. And tell them my intent to outfit every boat with the sigils of basically ignore me, so that even when we aren't ferrying someone, we can still get into places and hear things we shouldn't. And I'll even offer, without asking, I'm going to have to talk to Broden. I'm going to talk to them about providing housing as well for
Do you
us.
offer it right now, or do you ask for permission or forgiveness?
Forgiveness.
Oh, good.
Every
It's
time.
always easier to do that, yeah.
Mhm.
It isn't often that a group of people as large as the gondoliers of Sahani agree on something unanimously. And they don't, not at first. But with every arm that's risen in favor, another one comes. With every second one, a third one comes. And slowly, each one sensing this monumental importance that the moment has, silently, their arms are put forth in favor. The council is found quite quickly, as there are already unofficial leaders. People are put forward, people who are trusted, people who are, well, not on the streets, but on the water day after day. People who've worked with these gondoliers for so long now. So here, you are not proposed. Will you take a seat on that council?
Oh, absolutely.
Possible. And with your experience, it is all too easy to get one. Just a bit of political scheming. And a few days later. Oh, jeez. Right. Is there anything you would do, Sahir, after this? You know, just assuming control of the city's information network, no big deal.
My only other plan would be to go ask for Broden to forgive my impudence and tell them that they can house an entire spy network in a housing complex created by their family.
I think Broden could see the advantages of this, and would forgive. Well, would forgive for multiple reasons. One, because you are their friend.
You're too kind, Broden. I tell you, we've known each other for a little bit, but I feel like your scheming has rubbed off on me.
Oh, how would Broden respond to that? I think with amusement and captions are confusing me. But I think that they would respond with something to the effect of amusement and reassurances that it's probably not too bad. The DM is typing.
I know, I wasn't sure if your conversation was over or not. God damn it. Was that it? That sounded very judgmental, I'm sorry. Are you done is even worse. Are you done? Is that all you wanted to say? That sounds like I'm about to kill you. I'm just moving on now. Goodbye.
I just figure you could use another leg up. And in a roundabout way, you really helped me out anyways. Creating those seeds, causing the problem. We got to play hero. I tell you, nothing gets people on your side faster than playing hero.
Indeed.
And eating the right people.
We don't talk about that.
Broden has no idea that what you've just done. Sometimes a fire must be set to clear the dead brush. That's all I'm going to say.
I think that's all there is to it. In the end, it was quite a simple thing to do. Difficult, but simple. Well, let's see if the law side of the problem can be solved. I assume it's not that simple, but even more difficult. Anyways, but we'll see that after the break. See you in 15 minutes. And welcome back. So, we've dealt with Sahir, or rather Sahir has dealt with other people. Brought in his long-term plans. That leaves Mercy. Mercy, what are you doing?
Mercy is going to wait for the appointed time and go back and sign the paperwork, I guess.
Alright. You sign it. There's no magical declaration of... Well, I was going to say losing your soul, but it's not physically possible for you to lose your soul, so that's fine. There is no further complication. Do sign. Mason and Mason are... Well, I don't want to say never heard from again, but very quiet. The group hasn't disbanded, but it's changing. It's changing slowly. And that signature, I'm afraid, is the last imminent thing I wanted to do. While I do have some things, they're not going to happen for some time. So, I would like for you to kind of probably perhaps begin your epilogue. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me how you're working towards your goals. And I'm going to throw one last curveball, just for the sake of it. Only one, I promise. So, let's start with Broden, since I believe they are resident schemer.
And get it out of the way so that while my internet lasts.
I mean, I didn't want to say that out loud. Seemed somewhat rude.
I don't believe in fate. Let me see. So they would spend the next however long growing additional seeds they would plant plants with the intent of growing more of the magical seeds. And then they would go throughout the new green garden and maybe make it a little more blue by planting some of the magical seeds under the trees there to form I wouldn't say infect them, or infest them, but...
No, that's not a nice word, is it? Let's call it assimilate.
Form a symbiotic relationship with the tree.
Sure.
The tree provides, mundane physical nutrients. The magical seed provides arcane nutrients. So,
yes, because that's just what the tree needs. Magic.
Yes, to grow bigger, stronger, shedding more light year.
Yes, that's what we learned in school. To grow a tree needs mundane nutrients, water, sunlight, and magic. Now,
yes.
It goes against my very core principles to just allow things. I need to have some checks. I need to have, some complication. There needs to be conflict in the story. But you are a schemer. And this is the fulfillment of a very, very long plan. And I'm afraid you have already prepared everything you needed to. You've grown the seeds just right. You've gotten people who can help you with the magical side. You've gotten permission. And you indirectly wiped out all those who would normally stand literally in the way. And so the first stories of ghosts arise, of haunted things waiting in the new district. At first. But all new things are met with some trepidation. And that trepidation does fade over time. And so as the trees begin to shed a light blue shine, one at a time, the district begins to glow. It is quite pretty. But Broden, that is not your end goal now, is it? So
it's just the proof of concept.
It is. And it's working perfectly. Perhaps even better so than you imagined. As the trees do begin to spread for themselves, Magic Help is appreciated. but not needed. And isn't it just gorgeous what that says for your final plan?
Mm-hmm. Now, so for the final step of the plan, do you think Broden would be able to do it instantly, or would it take time to spread through the underwater plant life?
Well, instantly is a strong word,
Yes.
but you did indeed take one of the seeds, which was specifically designed to spread underwater. So within a few hours, it would work.
Yeah.
So tell me,
Then that's gonna happen.
so tell me then, what exactly is happening? What are you doing? Set a scene.
Set a scene. I think this new green garden. No, it doesn't quite. But Fisher's Bay does, so that's convenient.
It is.
I think they would go out to with their proof concept confirming that it's not only possible but easier than expected. They would go out with their followers and their familiar into to the shoreline, and they would wade into the water with seeds that they have with the seeds that they spent so long creating, and spread them into the waters, having waded out into off the shoreline, as it were.
Like little blue pinpricks in the midst of a very dark black canvas.
Mm-hmm.
You stand there, some of your followers at the shore, some with you. But all of you don't really say a lot. You wait. But god damn, it's worth it to see how at first there's perhaps a tendril, a vector, some might say, to see where the seeds spread and the first plants light up. Deep beneath the Black Sea, there's suddenly light. And then next to that, there is also light. And so on and so forth. And within a few hours, all around you, the Black Sea glows bright blue. Oh, there's terror, of course. But as the attack fails to commence, there's no sudden army rushing on, no horrible eldritch creature. The people get curious. And for the first time in God knows how many years, some go swimming. It's a bad idea, of course. It doesn't take care of the creatures. But well, they learn that quickly. But hey, the Black Sea is a light. It will be so, as far as you can tell, for eternity.
I'm sorry, did you ask me a question? I can barely...
No.
Okay.
No. I just waited to see if you had something to say. Anyway, I should probably put my mic in front of my face. Hello.
Yes. It would probably help.
Just ignore me doing things to my microphone.
Yes. So, put in the the gif of Plankton saying, "I didn't think I'd get this far."
Some laugh. Some don't.
So, I'm not saying that Broden would actually say that, but that's what's going through.
You said it in the voice.
Broden's voice is down here. I'll have
Okay, you said it in another voice, and I'm not actually capable of distinguishing that much.
Fine. But I think Broden would take a while to relax after, what is this? Over a year of work? Get this done. So they go scheme. I'm sure that one very quickly.
Indeed, Broden's next scheme. Probably something political.
Yes, probably something political, probably something that they're not going anywhere in the political scene, even if the political scene changes around them.
True. You could say you adapt. But that is another story. M and Sahir. Preferably M, since Sahir, we had you. Is there something you would like to do?
I would like to kind of corral all my I don't want any of my friends working against each other. Mason and Mason, or whatever they're called now, is already aware of Abraham's hand, and I think I would touch base with Hero, but not go into too much detail.
Yeah. When you see them, it's like you haven't seen them in years. Not physically, but they're very different. They're not... Well, they're still arrogant, but they seem more shut off than too good for you. They seem to be in their own little world, thinking, doing things, and not really communicating with you. Can I have an insight check, please?
Yeah, I think I would also try and spend more time with them, just... Which is, like, literally any time since I studiously avoided them.
Yeah.
So, insight. Why is it always insight? 16?
16. Something that kind of you can't really get out of your head after the first visit, and which is then pretty much confirmed with the next visit, is they're trying to avoid you without actually saying that. Something's going on. They either don't want to drag you in, or they can't. But then again, they did say that.
They did. I would make it known that I'm available. And still touch base. Give them information that doesn't matter, essentially. Because I think it would be weird to not update them at all. In general terms. And I would also make sure that the Blood Owls... I have a name somewhere. Know that we've essentially like struck a deal with Mason and Mason, or whatever. You know, there are things that they don't need to concern themselves with.
Oh, I'm sure they'll be happy with that one. So you're basically just trying to be diplomatic. With all your allies that you have now, and all the information you can give. And I'm
This is what we call
Sahir.
character growth. Like,
yeah,
they
it
are
is.
absolutely like leaning into that charm that they were brought up with, and yeah, I think they have extensive notes and maybe a bit of a murder board.
Just a tiny murder board.
Itty bitty murder board.
That's actually the name of my high school band.
I learned not to call it like baby anymore because I get yelled at when I say baby murder.
Oh, you do? I just get arrested. One thing I want to ask is, how tightly are you working with Sahir? Or rather, Sahir. How tightly are you working together with him?
I definitely don't want to work cross purposes with Sahir. I feel like if we do work together, there's a lot of like song and dance ahead of time about like, and very cagey conversations.
I mean, that's the only conversation the two of you can have, so yes.
It literally is. And we only have so much time today.
I know. That's why I'm doing this narratively.
Yeah. But I mean, she's been working with trying to work with like the factory folk, and other workers, and like the gondoliers are certainly in that category. I don't think they fall under Abraham's hand, but like still.
No, they don't.
Like, you know, power to the people and all that.
Yeah.
No. So I think at some point she would probably like obliquely try and broach the subject of like, hey, when the revolution comes, how are the gondoliers gonna do? Like, where are they leaning on things? She would probably not phrase it like that, for the record. But again, we're doing this narratively, so.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, they're kind of for themselves. They've already established themselves as in charge of their own ventures. So,
I had like a mini revolution.
do you need any information? Because I could sell that to you.
I think that seems quite agreeable, actually.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah, what's the fee for you not to sell the information that you're selling me specific information?
Wait, rephrase that in a way that I can understand, like I'm not 5 years old.
Okay, so you sell me information that I want.
Mm-hmm.
Great, love that for both of us. But then, the fact that I have purchased specific information could be of value to somebody else. So, what's the, like, additional fee to not sell that information?
Oh.
And honestly,
okay.
like, if you haven't been selling that information from other people, you might want to look into that.
So, there's two avenues I see. One, which is the most simple avenue, is we do an exclusive no trade clause into information pertaining to things you like. That's all well and good. You would pay us a lump sum, and that would be it. Each month you'd pay us. The other avenue I see is I still sell the information, but then I take it back after I've been paid. So, and of course, in order to do that, there's liability charges, there's social negotiations fees, there's all sorts of red tape to deal with, so that is a little more expensive.
Is there also an anti-social negotiation fee?
The lump sum with essentially continual information, I think probably sounds like the best plan.
Yeah, okay. I won't do false information. I won't plant false information, is what I'm saying.
Appreciate that.
We got a reputation to uphold.
Understandable.
So, and if anything does make its way into someone's head that you don't want there, just let me know and we can work something out. Don't ask questions. Just believe me, we've got a system.
I would like to have a little chat with you about a certain gang leader. What do you know about the head of Abraham's hand?
Me personally? Actually, probably a lot more than Wren, know.
Oh yeah. You know a lot.
I know a lot.
But I believe this is one of the things we can do narratively. Because
Yeah.
with that information secured, Abram's hand is rigorous, always on time, and frightfully efficient. In short, it's a system that is easily dismantleable when you know everything they know and everything they're going to do. Mercy, now depends on you. Will you steer for peaceful negotiations, unions perhaps, much like Sahir did?
Yes.
Or will you allow the workers... Well, I phrased that a bit wrong. Basically, will you try to negotiate that that Abram's hand will simply free the workers, allow them to unionize and such? Or will you allow the workers to, well, revolt?
I would like for a bit of a mix. Like, I want the workers to know that this is the time. I want them to, like, take control of their own. I don't want to give them their...
Yes.
You know.
So do you basically just give them the options?
Yes, but I also don't... I want them to know that it came from us, essentially. Like...
Yes. They will know that.
Yeah. But I want to give them the tools and help clear the path. Also, I just... I don't know much about that. I just know that Sahir has been mentioning a lot about, like, feelings and thoughts.
Oh, we've been talking about Sahir with about feelings with Sahir.
Yeah, not like that. Like...
But exactly like that.
Exactly like that. And I sort of feel like, is it Ghana? Might have some interesting memories. If that was of interest for some reason to Sahir.
Sahir, will you try to eat the all-seeing eye? Which is a nice sentence.
And I'm going to... Eva is going to mention specifically that this is not intended as a trap, because M doesn't know, like, they have not had that, like, heart-to-heart as to what exactly Sahir does or how they do what they do.
As soon as, like, oh, you know a lot of things. I met this person who can see a lot of things and knows a lot of things because of that. So he just goes, ooh.
Yeah. Like, they're just gonna put out the pieces and be like, you build whatever you want from this. It just seems like it might be of interest. Like, and of course, like, if Ghana could, like, not be around, that'd be super great too. But, yes. I know there's more than meets the eye to Ghana, but so to speak.
Okay, so I'll put Mercy on hold for a second because I need to know this Sahir. Are you going to do it?
First response, pay me.
Oh yeah, you've been amassing money like nothing. It's also one of the things that, you know, the Blood Owls explicitly said you could take from them. So, yeah, no big deal. Yeah, finance this resources, they're giving you that kind of stuff. I mean, it is very helpful. Imagine the alternative. Fair enough. Just the last fucking ancient dragon in the world not getting in your way, no big deal.
You'll notice that I handed over Ghana. I did not, which I believe is her name. I've been saying it, but yes. I think the other's a bit risky.
Well, between any information you can provide me, / any information I might already have devoured pertaining to them, I would probably look for some sort of inn with them, with Ghana.
Your gondoliers actually have that already. She's been feeding them information from time to time. Because she also needs to make a living, and, you know, she knows things. A lot of disturbingly specific things.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. What kind of inn are you looking for?
Does she like throw parties? Does she have proclivities that I can take advantage of? Preferences that might be mutable? Those kinds of things.
Oh, that would be so good to play out over the course of multiple sessions.
Right.
But unfortunately, we don't have those. So, could you give me your end goal? Are you trying to murder her and eat her memories, or, you know, just put her in box and lock everywhere?
My goal would be to take all of the brain thoughts,
except for, you know, as opposed to the other thoughts,
all of the secrets, and none of the secrets, because once they're mine, they're not secrets.
Yes.
And just to clarify, this is a person that you want gone? Okay.
Fourth player.
Okay. Yeah, so I would, I'd arrange a mind wipe, and then, you know, quite frankly, I would probably also arrange for Em and her associates to figure out a way to take that situation and turn it into something that's usable to them.
All right. So, somebody who knows just about everything is going up against somebody who can see just about everything. Oh, this is good. So here, this will come down to a battle of wits, as
Oh,
you
God.
both have the same kind of information. Now she's a bit quicker, but thankfully for you, she's also not that smart. So just give me a straight intelligence check, please. Against her, straight intelligence check.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's a 13 for her.
Okay. Oof. Yeah, that would be a bad roll. I was due for 1. I rolled
You
a
were.
2, which puts me at
17.
an intelligence check would just put me at a 4. So
Okay. Is there anything you would like to do to gain the upper hand? As you're basically being outmaneuvered at every point. Like you send somebody to kind of watch her, and that person just never comes back. You try to kind of plan out her routine, and she changes it at that immediate moment. That kind of thing. You're just not getting any hold whatsoever. She seems to be able to see you at every point.
Oh, I've got an idea.
Okay.
Rick. Rick.
Very good.
Rick. Can you make me impossible to see?
He can't do that, but he can craft an item that will protect you from being seen.
That would
Which
be the answer.
essentially is the same thing, but you know. Semantics. So it takes a while, but in the end, poor Garner can't do anything because now she has lost the only weapon she has. There's a reason why she is just a notable member. She's not particularly smart. She's not a good fighter in any regard. And so, one evening, well, that was her. And Sahir, you are so full. You didn't know it was possible for a single person to know that much. But there's also one last piece of information that you might want to pursue now that you've fulfilled M's request. Because in the last hours of her life, somebody visited her, unexpectedly for her. She could not see them coming. One of her bodyguards turned around to her and shifted. A changeling, taking on another form. A member of the Night Weavers stared her directly into the eye and said, "Should you see this, the Council extends an invitation. Meet us if you can find us." She forgot that, but she just glossed over it, and you don't. What are you doing, Sahir?
Well, it would be business as usual. And probably, well, besides, of course, giving any money I take in from most jobs, I would pretty much just give over to the gondolier union.
Right. Oh yeah.
I don't really need money. Not really. Not a whole heck of a lot, but I'll keep enough to make
Think
sure
of
my
all the
wards
food
stay
you could buy.
protected.
Oh well. Oopsie.
And I never go hungry.
Yeah, you don't.
But I'd probably just keep doing the business as usual odd jobs, and I'd probably, I don't think I would like actively pursue these Night Weavers. They seem intent on me finding them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'd rather they come find me, because if it's such a big deal to them, they can make the time.
Fair enough.
So
Interesting how this goes. When you try to preserve your last semblance of power, and it doesn't work. So, one day, you find yourself face to face with somebody who changes their body like they change their mind. And once again, you're extended an invitation, ruefully this time. An invitation to the Nightweavers Council.
pushy.
They are.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they've told me where to look, I'll go. I'm
I
just.
don't believe they would tell you, but they wouldn't need to tell you. As now, with your better understanding of the city, there are very few blank spots where somebody like the Nightweavers could even assemble.
All right, I'll go.
Oh, sorry, I misphrased that. They're extending an invitation for you for a seat in the Nightweavers Council to join them.
Oh.
Which would, include finding them, but only to take your place.
Okay. I don't know what they do, but
Nobody knows.
I'll find out.
You find out. So you accept?
Sure.
It is interesting how mystery unravels when you're part of it. Because for all their mystique, they're really just a bunch of people who can change their body and can read people's minds. They're not nefarious mafiosos trying to take over the city. They're no schemers with 1,000 threads to fulfill their master plan. Just people who have a very specific set of skills and make some money here and there. You do find it amusing to think about how many people fret over this mysterious organization, the Shadows, that knows everything about how they appear and disappear, and so many people have tried to catch them, this malignant threat in the background, and it turns out to be just a bunch of people. It's interesting how that turns out. They are nice people. Some of them haven't even killed before. Eva just goes, "Aww." But with that, you are indeed in the highest echelons of information brokering, or information in total that you can be. And information is everything in Sahani. So, Congratulations, Sahir. You have the key to the city in your hands, which leaves us with M. Unless there's anything else you would like to do. Nope. M. It is interesting how you can hand people choice and still condemn them to a certain fate. Handing an angry mob a key will only ever result in one particular outcome, no matter how you insist that they have the choice. They could do whatever they want. And with Ganas Merati out of the way, Abraham's hand loses control. And there's more bloodshed. Abraham's hand was never weak. Strong fighters, all of them, but in the end the numbers are just overwhelming. Action economy, I suppose. They die, but they take a lot of people with them. I suppose one of the many victims. But once that is over with, the city is drenched in blood, yes. But resting for the first time. There are not enough people for poverty to really matter. And with the efforts of House Dinul, and Broden specifically, well, nobody really sees the need to violently murder anyone for a piece of bread anymore. With the glowing sea, well, people are getting adventurous. Well, Sahir's influence is not felt within the city, but maybe they would like that. It is definitely there. There's one last thing that is going to happen. One last situation that needs to be resolved. The Obsidian Palace. Are you going to do anything, or are you just waiting for things to play out?
After seeing what happens with Abraham's hand, the next time they see Sahir, I think they might just lay the cards on the table about Kale. And just honestly, you have more information than I do. But you probably already know he could be trouble. Or not. You, again, probably know more than I do. But if you see him around, just keep your eyes open. And the city is already like half out to get the Night Queen anyway, so.
Half?
I'm being kind.
Broden.
So, as I recall, you mentioned that during the Night of the Living Dead, or rather, the Morning of the Living Dead, as it were, there were a large number of them that attacked the Obsidian Palace, right?
Yes.
So, weight of numbers does not seem like a successful strategy. What one big thing? Something that might be able to, say, crack the walls and bring down the roof.
Something like a dragon.
I wasn't thinking a dragon, but if I could get one, that would be cool.
Oh
No.
yes, there's one that's very eager to do exactly that to the obsidian banners.
No, what I was thinking more along the lines of like the seeds grow very in the water as they were designed to do so. Um, could some be? Could I like turn into a crocodile, swim a bunch of seeds over uh, to the shoreline around the palace and plant them so that they grow and do that creeping vine thing where they climb the walls,
Ooh.
and as they do so, they rip them apart.
Well, two things. First of all, even if you do that, you'd still have to deal with the blockade from House Morcath, which is the bigger problem. Not to underestimate this palace's own defenses, but that's the
Yes.
bigger problem. And second of all, yes, that would probably work if you were willing to turn into a crocodile and swim over there. Despite the light, sometimes there are still spots of darkness within the glowing sea. Large, serpentine, moving spots of darkness.
Mm-hmm. Other aquatic forms. I haven't looked at the number of. I think I could turn into a shark. Well,
Can you withstand a leviathan?
beast.
I like how that didn't deter. Just looking for the beast, I was like, I don't want to understand that. I mean, you could fly, I suppose.
Not high enough level for that.
But you could wait until you are.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm sure there are other flying things above the water that like nest in the stalactites in the ceiling.
You haven't seen them yet. But
Yes,
you know,
but then
that's
again,
kind of the point.
light doesn't reach out there.
No, it doesn't. But in its next task, light up the ceiling!
Yes, no. What about an octopus? Stealth,
I mean-
camouflage, water breathing.
Sure, if you want to try it. What could possibly go wrong?
I think more allies would be more sufficient. I think they would wait. But yes, destroying the island utterly is going to be, I think, their next. That and the dome are going to be next scheme and scheme B.
Oh, the dome is not that big of a problem. House Edena has officially declared nothing, but all the royal houses are trying to appease the people very much right now,
Mm-hmm.
following the House of Dinul. Some work, some don't. There's a bit of a France situation going on in the first few months, but you know, that passes. The dome is open. There's no big defenses there. I mean, they are, but they've been deactivated since these people are really just scientists who want to, you know, science things, which, you know, we've accepted as generally a good thing. Maybe shut down the super weapons.
Yes.
One
Shut
notable
down
thing
the-
that comes to mind is your mother's grand declaration of how Sith's bioweapons doesn't seem to have fulfilled itself.
Almost, she talking out her ass.
That or
They're not
I'm
as
saying this with the utmost trepidation. Maybe she saw that your way was better. But that is highly unlikely.
highly
She
unlikely.
would never do that.
She would never admit to being wrong.
No, she would never admit. Alright. So, M or Broden, anything that's happening?
Yeah. I can't think of anything else.
That's fine. Don't feel pressured to do something. You have the time, and I'm honestly saying something is going to happen, but the situation might resolve itself, or might not. I'm basically just giving the chance to influence it in a way that would help you.
Could bold idea, but could traps be laid around the Isle of the Obsidian Palace, so that if a certain
Do you have a ship?
I meant with seeds, but if a certain
Oh.
ancient red dragon were to succeed in taking down that palace, they would then find other things waiting for them in the water.
Do you want to instruct fast-growing seeds to be traps
No.
for ancient red
Well-
dragons and then put in the mortar?
No, but maybe maybe a deal could be made with something intelligent in the water, like an aboleth.
Not an aboleth.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. In the end, you'd still need to drive out there. So, I suppose after all the scheming, you would wait. Which is fine. Him.
I think after a certain point of nothing happen. I mean, a lot of things are happening.
Yeah, there are always little skirmishes between mostly the Blood Owls and the House of Morkai.
Avoiding Hero. I think she would check in and just be like, what's the plan? Like, at some point, there's only so much preparation you can do.
Mm-hmm. Then, yeah, let me set the scene. The last scene, actually. You are... Oh, I hear somebody gasping.
Would... Oh, wait. Wait. How... I just hit a button, I'm sorry.
How dare you.
Would I know anything about Broden's desire to get to the island?
I presume you talk to each other.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because we're so very open with each other when we do talk.
Well, no, but you're scheming together.
we are
a bond
a group of
between-
schemers.
we
you
are.
I think that in all of the time that the two of them would have been hanging out together prior to the start of the campaign, I think it might have come up that Broden has a particular distaste for the monarchy.
Sure. Specifically, would M know you want to get to the island in this, like, specific time frame?
M could ask.
That is such a weird question to ask out of the blue.
If it was a leading question, like if M had some ulterior motive for asking the question, Broden would
I want
very
to
much.
help you, but I have no reason to offer this
Dude.
help unless I know
Without
that.
wanting to murder
Okay.
the story, your plan does not have anything to do with the spell you posted.
Yes.
Because an hour with, what is it?
A flying
10
speed
feet?
of 10 feet.
That won't do.
Okay. Okay,
The
then it
fence is
doesn't
too
matter.
far away. Yeah.
It's hard to
Um,
gauge distances.
It was a good plan. It was a good plan, but unfortunately it's...
Also,
too
like,
far
there was
away.
no plan to get you back, so...
I mean, Broden can just kill the entire palace.
I mean,
Problem solved.
you know someone who's part of a council in charge of a whole bunch of people who steer boats that have runes and sigils carved into them as well. So
Why don't we make it like this? For the last scene, we have people at the harbour, the district, looking out towards the Obsidian Palace. Broden, you would probably be there as a representative of the person who knows what the fuck is going on with the ocean. Sahir, you would probably be there just on the for the virtue of being, well, first of all, important, and second of all, a source of information. And you would be there in your function as, well, administrator, I suppose. With you, it's like a, it weirdly, it's like a picnic almost, because there's this low bench where people are sitting on. There's a table with plans. There's no food, but it has this picnic vibe of a bunch of people getting together in like a spontaneous thing and trying to, have a talk. Just it's the most important picnic anybody has ever attended. With you would be Kale and Hero, both of whom are sitting next to each other. Hero hasn't really said anything. And Nagar, the dragon. Nagar is in dragon form. He is a blue dragon, a massive blue dragon, just kind of sitting on the harbour opposed to you, and his mouth is actually big enough to just swallow all of you whole. Like, think of an ancient dragon in D&D, and then think if there was a category above that, then you have it. He's taken.
There used to be a category larger than ancient. It was called the Eldworm.
Really fucking old. And so you discuss. And as you discuss those various plans that you've thrown around, Broden, that would be one possibility. Things change in the formation of sturdy rings of boats, of ships around the Obsidian Palace. Because a single ship, not even big enough to be an attack ship, like a small corvette maybe, gets led through. Or rather, I suppose drives? Swims? What does a ship do? Moves. A ship moves through the ring and steers towards the harbour. And you can see Nagar kind of moving, his massive wings spreading out. Shall I take care of that one? Mostly directed to him, but other people are welcome to input.
And we've heard nothing from the palace this whole time.
Nothing. Just repeatedly defended against. It's just repeatedly defended against attacks.
And this seems more like a messenger than an attack.
Either that or a crafty plan.
Yeah, we're gonna kill them all as well. Same.
I think sending someone out to meet them is not the worst plan. I don't think we should let them dock. I'm not opposed to torching them. Or eating them.
I hear nobody against this, so I'm just gonna do it. The massive reptile swings into the air. And there's a brief flash of lightning, and the ship begins to burn. And then the water moves, and the flames are extinguished. And from below, you can see another massive dark shape as another creature that is weirdly dragon-like, but scaly and slimy with maws and no tentacles, interestingly enough, as opposed to what it's normally depicted like. Something like a massive snake, almost, an eel, a moray perhaps, shooting out from the water. And you can see its head, and then kind of what would be the neck area. You're like, oh, that's big. The neck area goes on, and on, and on, and on. And this massive creature comes up from the ocean. and shoots towards the dragon. There is going to be one hell of a wave.
Quick question.
Yes.
Would you say that I'm within a sufficient distance to be still within the domain created by my temple? 20-ish miles.
No. Look, because this is the end of the campaign, I'm going to allow it. I suppose that everything lit up by your plans would technically be your domain.
Excellent. Then let's just what option? Which specific option am I going to take? Let's go with a gold dragon wormling.
Gold dragon what?
So the temple, because of the nature of it, of the extra curricular materials we're using,
Yes.
would allow me to unmute Google.
It would allow
My
you to
apologies.
unmute Google.
Right, sorry. Because of the properties of the temple, of the druidic temple, I can transform into any dragon, fae, monstrosity, or beast under CR that is that is equal to or less than half of my druid level, which at 6 means I can turn into a gold dragon wormling,
Oh.
which is CR 3, and still pretty beefy,
Fair enough.
and fly out there to assist.
All right. Can I have a dexterity saving throw from you, please? As we have a basically full-on kaiju fight, I suppose, because the two of them are going at it. Like, the dragon is slightly smaller than this massive sea creature, but it can spew lightning.
That's going to be a 17.
Oh, congratulations. So, Broden, you begin to heroically fly to try to assist this massive thing to defeat this Leviathan. And, avoid... Yes?
Just real quick, when I see Broden shift into this wormling, I would like to cast Enlarge.
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
All right.
I'm now a size large creature.
So, okay. That is a good... Damn, that is a really good ending here. Because, Broden, I'm going to say, just regarding levels and all that, it has been quite a few months. I would say you're able to shift into more like an actual dragon.
Okay.
Something like that. Just because I just can't picture a wormling in that fight without being immediately grilled. But you shift and evade your massive form like a tiny baby between the two of them. Yet you spew forth fire, I believe, was it? Gold dragon, you spew forth fire, you scratch the scales away for the massive dragon, then to sink his fangs and claws into the sea serpent of the ages. It's a miracle that you survive.
Also, there's a breath weapon that young and older gold dragons have that gives disadvantage on strength-based checks, including attack rolls and saving throws.
So you weaken this thing with tiny hits. You can kind of you breathe this weakness into its body, and in the end, it is a very long fight. And Broden, you're basically dead by the end of it. But the Leviathan roars, and from the ceiling, single giant rocks as big as mountains fall. But the Leviathan sinks. Next to it, the ship. And as it does, We switch perspective one last time. A woman in a black gown, a single obsidian crown atop of her head, her long flowing hair kept in disarray behind her, and she looks out of the window, tinted of course. She can see her creature sink beneath the waves of an illuminated ocean, but her eyes are fixed on the burning ship that has been swallowed long before this creature dies. And her thoughts are filled with hate in life and now in death. She told them it was a bad idea. She forbade them specifically. But children rebel, and people do as they like. And so, perhaps the only two tethers she had to humanity have now sunk beneath the ocean. There will be no ball, because the twins are dead. And with them, the legacy of the House Celine, the only one still alive, an undead monstrosity that she once loved. But the palace begins to crumble. The hand raises against the frame, a door frame, but so important. It cracks. The resulting explosion is enough to shake the palace, to break it. And the legacy of this hateful monarchy sinks beneath the waves, together with the portal that dominated so many generations of hate and greed. Congratulations. The Night Queen is no more. And I believe that is a good end for this campaign. Sahir making it possible for all these factions to come together, eliminating even the last few remnants that might oppress the people. M kind of pulling the strings for some weird reason in the background of this particular thing. Broden, in the end, a new goal. You defeated a fucking Leviathan. With the help of a giant dragon, mind you. But still, that dragon was going to die. It lived because of you. This was City of Shadows. Let's do sign-offs. And for your favorite moment, I would like you to actually think about the entire campaign. Give me the favorite moment of the entire campaign. I'm actually going to go first, just for you to kind of have a moment to think about this, because I obviously knew this was coming, you did not. So, my name's Swapper. I have been your GM. You can find me on Twitter under @GreatSimplicity, where I will probably be soon tweeting about new things that I might be doing, might not be doing. My favourite moment of this entire campaign was one that was so inconsequentially consequential. It was the bloody seeds getting thrown into the canal just because you said, no, the guards will deal with it. And somehow just caused this giant chain reaction that just blew every other plan I had out of proportion. May not be like a tactically wise moment to choose, because technically none of you really did anything with that, and even I was like, okay, that's just something that happens because of all the consequences. But I like to think this game has kind of been about the consequences of the tiny things you do, so I think it's fitting. Who wants to go next?
Unmuting myself takes a second. I'll go next. Hello, I'm Raven. I have had the immeasurable pleasure of playing the most scheming character here, Wren, the Minotaur Druid, who started this campaign as unnamed Minotaur character number 1. My favorite moment of the campaign. There are a lot of good ones. There was, at the very beginning, Chap the Hero Mouse going on a grand adventure to spy on people. There was Sahir just absolutely just waltzing right through the auction house, basically uncontested. There was all of Swapper's great and fantastic descriptions. I think the moment that's going to take it all is probably going to be that moment where M and Hero, where Mercy and Hero were sitting in the cafe, minding their own rather intense conversation, and then suddenly the canals started to liven up a bit as the undead, the consequences of my actions, took over the city for a day. Who wants to go next?
Me, I'll go next. Hi, I'm Wren. And I played Sahir, the Yuan-Ti pureblood who accidentally became a vampire. It's okay. This is fine. With this campaign ending, you will only be able to see me regularly. Well, you'll be able to hear me regularly in a Genesis actual play podcast called Roads Uncharted. It's in the second season's release of content. We have a few more season episodes left in the season, so give us a listen on any of your favorite platforms that distribute podcasts. You can also find me on Twitch and Twitter at Thorny Dryad. I'm a variety streamer, podcaster, and general nonsensical person, but you can see me doing whatever. My favorite part of this campaign, I have a few things that pop to mind. I still say one of my favorite moments was, Mercy and Sahir fighting briefly over that magical pen that we completely just forgot existed for the rest of this campaign. And I still also really, I get shivers thinking about Mr. Baramani snapping his fingers and the entire establishment emptying of people for him to have a private conversation. It's just little details like that always stick out to me, and those are some that I'll always keep in the back of my mind. So
I suppose that leaves me. Hello, I'm Eva. This is my channel where you can find me every Saturday, every Sunday, doing slightly less political intriguey things. I had the joy of playing M, or Mercy, who was absolutely a delight. The tiefling soulless sorcerer. I think one of my favorite moments this campaign was, this is gonna come off weird, but the death of Sahir is how I kind of bookmarked that particular there were so many good RP moments in that. There were so many good descriptions, and from the outside, even as a player, I didn't know where it was going to end up. Like, it's not a common thing to watch a PC character get ill, for one thing, and then to not really be able to do anything, even though you know it's sort of by design. It was in character fascinating to see how M and Broden kind of went about their lives, kind of pretending that nothing was wrong, even though literally dying right in front of our eyes. But then just also as a player to have that experience too, of just like, I knew Wren was gonna keep playing, but I didn't know what Sahir we were gonna get on the other side. So I think that was probably my favorite part. Yeah. Swapper, any final words?
Well, that's rather dramatic.
Like, you don't love the dramatic?
I know. Perhaps once all is said and done, a brief look at the world to see how things are going. Because there's one last secret that I never got to reveal. It usually would be nothing major to find land. But for these people, well, the city has just lost its purpose. Damaged as it is by the waves, wrecked with history as it is, I suppose it is time to move on. And if there is a temple, if there is other things are there, well, these characters might just be interested in them. But that's their thing. I think we can leave them alone for now. I have an idea they might just succeed at things they want to do. And with that, I believe we can say goodbye.
Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us for City of Shadows. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you around.